diet pill. Kolo Touré's professional career took a major hit due to a drug policy violation. In March 2011, while playing for Manchester City, he tested positive for a banned substance during a routine drug test. His defence was that the substance came from a diet pill belonging to his wife. He claimed he took it to help with weight loss, unaware it contained an ingredient prohibited by FIFA and water regulations. The league, however, was unsympathetic to the accidental nature of the violation. Touré was handed a 6-month suspension from all football activities. This meant he missed the rest of the season, including City's historic FA Cup triumph, and lost his place in the squad. For a player renowned for his professionalism and leadership, the suspension was a humiliating fall. Touré accepted the blame, admitting he'd made a careless mistake and let down his team, fans, and family. The ban stalled his career. For months, he trained in isolation, determined to earn a second chance. When the suspension ended, Touré fought his way back, returning to the Premier League with Liverpool before moving to Celtic. He was determined to prove he could still perform at the highest level while playing clean. He succeeded, yet the mark of the ban never fully left his record. The FA's message was clear. Players are strictly responsible for everything that enters their body, regardless of how the substance got there. Touré's case became a cautionary tale, a stark reminder that one small accidental pill can change a career. Football maintains a zero-tolerance drug policy. The rules are strict, the punishment is heavy, and once a player is banned, their journey back is never guaranteed. Gambling. Football's governing bodies take gambling seriously. Under the rules of FIFA and domestic leagues, players, coaches, and referees face absolute prohibition from betting on any football-related activity. No matches, no transfers, no awards, no fantasy leagues. Absolutely nothing connected to the game. The rule is straightforward. If you are involved in football, you cannot bet on football. This strict stance is entirely about safeguarding the sport's integrity. Fans must be confident that every goal, every card, and every referee's call is genuine, not influenced by a betting scheme. Even the slightest hint of a link to gambling can utterly destroy that public trust. The consequences for breaking these rules are often brutal and career-defining. In 2013, Andros Townsend was banned for betting violations, even before he became a Tottenham first-team regular. He missed matches, forfeited wages, and was forced to rebuild his reputation from the ground up. In 2020, Kieran Trippier received a 10-week global ban for sharing inside information about his transfer to Atletico Madrid with friends. Crucially, he claimed he never placed a bet himself, but the message was clear. Leaking confidential information counts too. Most recently, in 2023, Brentford striker Ivan Toney was banned for 8 months after admitting to over 200 betting charges. While he cited making mistakes during a tough personal period, the FA stood firm. The ban sidelined him for nearly a year, costing him potential England caps, significant wages, and crucial career momentum in his prime. LSD. René Higuita's career was as wild as his saves, and so was his downfall. In the mid-1990s, the Colombian goalkeeper admitted to using LSD, a potent hallucinogenic drug banned under football's anti-doping code. He attributed the use to a dark period in his life, a crazy mix of fame, stress, and personal issues. LSD remains one of the strictest bans under FIFA and WADA rules. It profoundly distorts vision, judgment, and reaction time, the critical abilities a goalkeeper needs to survive 90 minutes. For someone like Higuita, whose daring style relied on pure reflexes and risk, that drug was a ticking time bomb. In 1993, after being jailed for unrelated off-field involvement in a kidnapping scandal, he failed a drug test while attempting to return to professional football. He was suspended for 6 months and later acknowledged he'd experimented with drugs, including LSD, during his time away from the game. The ban and the ensuing controversy derailed his career. Clubs backed away, sponsors disappeared. He eventually returned, but the magic and the trust never fully came back. Higuita later said it was a lesson he'd never forget. You can be a hero one day and ruin it all the next. he told reporters years later. Football's rules were clear even then. No matter your status, drugs of abuse mean immediate suspension, lasting shame, and an arduous fight to recover. For Higuita, LSD wasn't just a bad decision, it was the moment that turned one of football's boldest careers into one of its biggest cautionary tales. Vitamin boost. Samir Nasri's world-class career, once shining at Arsenal and Manchester City, was derailed by a single careless decision, a violation of football's strict anti-doping regulations. In 2016, while recovering from an illness, Nasri visited a Los Angeles clinic called Drip Doctors for a vitamin boost. He received an intravenous drip of over 500 millilitres. Crucially, he then posted about the visit online, unknowingly triggering a massive investigation. The infusion wasn't performance-enhancing, but it drastically exceeded the legal limit set by the World Anti-Doping Agency for athletes. What was intended as a simple recovery treatment quickly spiralled into a full-blown doping case. Initially, UEFA banned the creative midfielder for 6 months in 2018. When Nasri's team appealed the decision, the punishment was devastatingly extended to 18 months. By the time the ban ended, his momentum was gone. A player with Champions League pedigree suddenly found himself isolated. His contract was terminated and the calls stopped coming. He later claimed he felt betrayed by the system, arguing he only sought to heal, not to cheat. But for football's regulators, the rules are absolute. Players are solely responsible for everything they put into their bodies. Nasri was just 31 when his top-flight career vanished, ending not with a farewell, but with silence. His story remains a stark warning across Europe. It takes more than steroids or cocaine to end a career. Sometimes, one careless treatment is enough to cost a talent everything. Jewellery. Jewellery might look good off the pitch, but on it, it's strictly banned. According to Law 4 of the Laws of the Game, players can't wear any jewellery during a match. The reason is simple: safety. A chain presents a choking hazard if caught in a tug-of-war for the ball. A ring can severely scratch an opponent or lead to a debilitating finger injury if snagged. And in a collision, an earring is likely to tear the player's ear. Even if it's part of a player's style or superstition, like the diamond earrings often worn by Neymar Jr. off the field, referees have no choice. You either take it off or you don't play. That doesn't stop players from pushing the limits. You'll still see stars wearing their jewellery during warm-ups or on the walkout, but the moment the referee checks equipment before kickoff, it's gone. Karim Benzema is frequently spotted with jewellery pre-game, for instance, which is promptly removed before he steps onto the pitch. There have even been viral moments where players tried to sneak jewellery onto the pitch. In 2022, a referee in a Premier League match made Manchester City's Jack Grealish remove a chain mid-game after spotting it under the shirt, proving that even a subtle piece won't go unnoticed. And while FIFA fines aren't as headline-grabbing as penalties in other sports, the rule is enforced worldwide, from Sunday leagues to the Champions League. Jewellery might be part of a player's identity, but once the whistle blows, the beautiful game has no room for bling. Racism. Football is a global unifier, but when racism infiltrates the game, the consequences are swift, public, and career-defining. The modern era of strict enforcement began with 2 high-profile incidents. Following his racial abuse of Patrice Evra in 2011, the FA banned Liverpool striker Luis Suarez for 8 matches and imposed a significant fine. This incident caused global outrage, and despite Liverpool's initial support, the message was clear: there is absolutely zero tolerance for on-field racism. The accountability extended to the biggest names just a year later. John Terry, then captain of England, was acquitted in a criminal court regarding racial slurs against Anton Ferdinand, but the FA found him guilty under its own rules. He received a 4-match ban along with a massive financial penalty, demonstrating that even the game's biggest stars are not above FA judgment. The net soon widened, stretching beyond the players and onto the management and European stage. In 2019, the owner of Brescia, Massimo Cellino, caused widespread uproar with a racist joke targeting his own player, Mario Balotelli. While not a lifetime ban, the immediate and massive backlash included severe threats from key sponsors, which subsequently forced the Italian FA to significantly tighten its code of conduct for club executives. The most recent phase of the fight against racism is now targeting the entire ecosystem, from individuals right up to the clubs and their fan bases, after Real Madrid star Vinicius Jr. was repeatedly targeted with racist chants in Spain in 2023. The Spanish FA's response became structural and comprehensive. It was no longer just individual fans or players who were punished. Entire stadium sections were closed for subsequent games, and clubs themselves faced substantial financial penalties. The evolution of these sanctions sends a unified message across the global game. Racism is not merely an image issue, it is an accountability issue. Pep Guardiola. In October 2001, Pep Guardiola's distinguished career was blindsided by a major scandal. While playing for Brescia in Italy, the former Barcelona captain and respected veteran tested positive for nandrolone, an anabolic steroid banned by FIFA and WADA. The result was a profound shock to the football world. At 30, Guardiola was known as one of the most brilliant midfielders of his generation, not a figure associated with controversy. He vehemently denied ever taking performance enhancers, maintaining his innocence, and insisting the test was flawed. Despite his protestations, the Italian Federation handed him a 4-month suspension and a €50,000 fine. His reputation, painstakingly built over years at the pinnacle of the sport, was damaged seemingly overnight. After serving the ban, he returned to the pitch, but the legal battle and the shadow over his name was far from over. Guardiola dedicated the ensuing years, even as his playing career wound down, to clearing his name. He invested heavily in legal teams, relentlessly appealing the decision across multiple courts. Finally, in 2007, 6 years after the initial positive test, he was officially exonerated. New testing evidence revealed crucial inconsistencies in the original lab results, proving his innocence. However, the verdict came too late. His time as a player had already quietly concluded. Guardiola soon re-emerged as a manager, beginning the trajectory that would make him a football icon. His dominant reigns at Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and Manchester City are now legendary. Yet for a long time, the spectre of that nandrolone case followed him. Guardiola later said the ordeal made him stronger and more disciplined. A harsh lesson in how one false accusation can almost destroy a legacy. Bandanas and hats are classic elements of football's street style. However, on match day, strict rules apply. Any headgear that is not team approved is banned during a match. This regulation isn't fundamentally a safety measure. Its chief purpose is maintaining uniformity and the professional image of the sport. The rule strictly prohibits personal logos, bright, clashing colours, personal messages, and absolutely any bandanas that clash with the official kit. Leagues and federations require every player to look like part of a cohesive unit, not an individual brand. This rule has curtailed the individual flair of some of the sport's biggest stars. Neymar was known for wearing colourful bandanas during pre-match routines at Santos and early at Barcelona, but referees consistently made him remove them before kickoff. In 2018, Paul Pogba drew attention with a distinctive black and gold headband during warm-ups. But he too had to ditch it before the match officially started, even in training, when Kylian Mbappe once wore a non-standard Nike headband that covered a sponsor logo. Paris Saint-Germain staff quickly told him to remove it before cameras were rolling. While bold bandanas and signature wraps were a hallmark of style in the 2000s, today individuality is expected to blend seamlessly with the uniform. Players can still style it up before and after games, but once the whistle blows, the bandanas and non-team headgear must stay in the locker room. Brand logo. In professional football, what players wear is more than just style. It's a multi-billion-dollar battlefield of branding. Every part of a player's uniform is tightly controlled, from the main jersey sponsor down to the colour of the tape on their socks. If a player displays an unapproved logo or brand, they face swift consequences. Under the strict FIFA and UEFA regulations, players can only wear items officially provided or explicitly approved by their club or national team. This rule is absolute. No outside logos, no personal fashion statements, and absolutely no unauthorised brands on the pitch. This ensures that the team kit remains a consistent vehicle for official sponsorship messaging. Despite these clear rules, many stars have tried to push the limits of branding visibility. Both Paul Pogba and Memphis Depay, known for their unique personal styles, have received official warnings for wearing branded accessories or customised gear outside the official team kit specifications. They have often had to remove wristbands, headbands, or customised items featuring unauthorised logos before being cleared to play. The main reason for this strict enforcement is sponsorship money. Clubs and leagues sign massive, multi-million euro deals with official partners like Nike, Adidas, or Puma. When an unaffiliated logo appears on camera, it's viewed as unauthorised advertising that directly compromises the official sponsor's exclusivity. The only logos allowed are the ones paying to be there. Football fiercely protects its commercial agreements. Tinted visors. Back in the 2000s, a few outfield players tried experimenting with protective goggles and tinted lenses, sometimes for medical reasons, sometimes simply for style. But FIFA stepped in quickly to ensure visual clarity. Under Law 4 of the laws of the game, anything that covers a player's face or interferes with visibility can be banned. That includes tinted or mirrored visors, opaque masks, or any eyewear that hides the eyes. The reason for the strict ban is paramount: safety and immediate medical assessment. Referees, doctors, and even teammates need to see a player's eyes, especially after a head injury. A dark lens makes it impossible for medical staff to check a player's pupils or quickly tell if someone is concussed or disoriented. The most famous and only major exception came with Edgar Davids, the legendary Dutch midfielder, nicknamed the Pitbull. Davids was granted a rare allowance to wear his iconic orange-tinted protective goggles after undergoing surgery for glaucoma. His glasses became part of his unmistakable aesthetic, but they were strictly permitted only after a special FIFA medical exemption. Since then, dozens of players have requested to wear similar tinted lenses, and most have been denied. Only clear or lightly shaded protective eyewear is generally allowed today, provided it poses no danger. A strong modern example is Norwegian international Omar El Abdellaoui, who returned to the pitch wearing clear protective goggles. This necessity arose from a severe eye injury he suffered when a firework exploded in his face on New Year's Eve 2020. After being left clinically blind and undergoing more than a dozen surgeries, his medically required non-tinted protection is permitted, proving that safety trumps style, but medical needs are accommodated. Custom boots. In professional football, a player's boots are a massive statement of personal style, a canvas for bright colours, custom paint jobs, and personal messages. Yet, officially, a strict set of boundaries governs this self-expression. Although equipment is technically allowed as long as it is not deemed dangerous or distracting, the true limits lie in the stringent sponsorship deals and league regulations designed to enforce visual uniformity. Governing bodies like UEFA and domestic leagues prioritise visual consistency, viewing the pitch as a sporting arena, not a personal fashion runway or an ad board for individual brands. Plenty of global stars have aggressively tested these rules, often at a significant financial cost. In the Bundesliga, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang was famously fined in 2014 for wearing custom Batman and Spider-Man boots, a clear violation of club sponsorship. A year later, he pushed the limits even further, appearing in gold Nike boots encrusted with Swarovski crystals, an audacious display that quickly drew a second penalty. Across the continent, players like Manchester United's Paul Pogba and Italy's Mario Balotelli have also made headlines. Pogba's controversial choices often involved custom colourways that broke official kit and sponsor uniformity, while Balotelli was fined for non-compliant graphics, including boots adorned with personal statements and newspaper headlines, violating rules against unapproved personal advertising. These cases prove that even when a design doesn't break safety rules, the desire for visual product cohesion from league sponsors often turns bold individuality into a financial headache. This is why you frequently see players warming up in extravagant designs, only to switch to an approved colourway when the match whistle blows. Custom socks. You wouldn't think a simple pair of socks could cause a fuss, but in professional football, even this basic garment is a surprising source of controversy and regulation. Socks must strictly match the official team colours and appear as one continuous piece. Any external tape or material worn must be the same colour as the part of the sock it covers. Socks are mandatory and must completely cover the shin guards for safety. The shin guards themselves must be made of a suitable protective material. Any unapproved logos, personal branding, designs, or visible alterations are officially disallowed to maintain team uniformity and protect league sponsorships. Even under the threat of warnings and fines, players treat the strict sock mandate as a challenge, constantly pushing boundaries in search of minor comfort or clinging to personal superstitions. The biggest rebel tactic? The calf cut. Players like Kyle Walker and Trent Alexander-Arnold are infamous for deliberately slicing noticeable holes into the back of their socks. This isn't a fashion statement. It's a practical hack to relieve the intense pressure applied by modern, restrictive match socks on their calf muscles, aiding circulation and breathability. While this modification is technically against official equipment regulations, the widespread nature of the calf cut highlights a silent, ongoing battle between player comfort and the league's demand for seamless uniformity. And then there's the defiant Jack Grealish style. He's instantly recognisable for rolling his socks unusually low, a look he claims started as a genuine superstition. However, this practice creates an immediate problem. To comply with safety rules, Grealish is essentially forced to wear miniature shin pads so the required coverage is met. For the player, it might feel like a harmless, small comfort or a marginal gain. For the league, it's about projecting a unified professional image. While custom grip socks and unique styles might dominate practice, once the whistle blows, it's always back to regulation colours, pulled up high and perfectly uniform, at least in principle.